Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Masters of the Universe Classics Lord Masque. That's right, it's our first figure of 2016 and the first figure in what is now being called the Collector's Choice line. Let's take a look. As you can see, the figure does come in that same style Masters of the Universe Classics blister card packaging. It fully showcases the figure within, and one of the differences on the package is on the side of the blister bubble, where we now have a little yellow burst letting you know that this is part of the Collector's Choice line. If you rotate that box around to the back side, you're going to notice the biggest difference on this packaging. We still have the cross-sell showing us some of the other figures in the Classics line, but do you notice something else? That's right, gone are the bios. This new line of figures here in 2016 will no longer have bios on the back of the boxes. So let's go ahead and get Lord Masque out of the box and take a look at him. Now, the Collector's Choice line is basically supposed to be filled with all kinds of characters who have never had action figures before that the fans have been wanting to see. And Lord Masque appeared in the original Filmation cartoon series in the House of Shakoti two-parter. He's always been one of the most popular one-off villains that people have always wanted to see a toy of, so it's pretty dang cool getting to see this guy in action figure form. I know I personally have longed to see this guy. We've had a lot of great Filmation figures, but this is one that I always particularly was very fond of, so I'm really glad to see him released. As you can see, he's got a really great look to him, and I'm going to go ahead and start with that head sculpt. Of course, the mask is one of the most key components of Lord Masque here, and I think the Horseman did an amazing job with the sculpt. I mean, it looks like it jumps straight out of the cartoon series. The colors on the figure seem to be really nice as well. I thought maybe the colors were a little off, but kind of referencing them with some of the pictures from the cartoon series, it does look like he's pretty close to the way he appeared in the cartoon series. But the mask itself looks great. You got these nice bright white horns sticking off the mask. The mask itself is a bit of an off-white color, nice black line work on there. And it's all very clean and painted very nicely, so it looks really great. The black hood here is part of the head sculpt. You can see that is separate from the long black cape he's wearing. And you will notice he's just got this little cape that kind of comes down his back. It's made of that same soft, pliable plastic that we've seen for all the other Classics figures. The torso itself is kind of like this grayish, brownish, or tan mixture. It's an interesting color, and this is the part where I thought was a little off, but it's not so bad. It actually looks pretty good to the cartoon series, and there's a really nice amount of shading in there as well. So it does help to bring out the sculpted details. Of course, the torso here is just the standard buck that we've got in there. It doesn't look any different than the other Classics figures that we've seen, but he does have this new harness on here, which is really nice. I love the pearlescent white that is seen on the center emblem there on the harness, as well as the belt and the trimming on the white gloves. It's all got this really great kind of pearlescent shine to it. It's really great. It's vibrant. It looks really awesome with the light reflecting off of it, and it's just very clean looking. The bands going around his thighs are part of the sculpts there, so that's pretty nice. I really like the way that this all turns out. Of course, I do love the pants piece that he's wearing there. You can see it's very nicely done. And these boots here, you know, classic boots. We've seen these in line before. Of course, no peg pin showing, so that's going to work out really great for the articulation. So, let's talk about that articulation. Standard as far as the Classics line goes. That head's on a ball joint, left, right, slightly rolls all the way around there. You got those same ball joints at the shoulders, which are very tight, I must say. Forwards and backwards movement. You got the swivels at the bicep. You got a standard single joint at the elbow. You got your swivels at the wrist there. You got your ab crunch there, just like that. You got your swivel at the waist. You got the ball-like hinge joints there at the thighs, so they can go outwards, forwards, and backwards very nicely. Can get them in a nice sitting position if you need to. You got the swivels at the thigh cut. You got single joints at the knees. You got boot cut there, the boot swivel, and then your standard single joint at the ankles. So very, very nice. It's all nice and tight. Functions very well, exactly what you'd expect, and the head is removable. So, like I said, the hood there is part of the head sculpt. You could pop the cape off if you wanted to, and the harness is just attached on the back. So if you wanted to, you can remove the harness as well. So it's very much what we've come to expect from the Classics line, but it's all done very well. And like I said, paint is real clean on this guy. I love the sculpt, and he does a great job of capturing the look of the character as he appears in the cartoon series. Now, Lord Masque comes with 2 accessories in the form of this greenish laser sword and this greenish laser shield. Of course, Lord Masque can hold those. You can put them in his hands. You can use them as weapons if you want them to, but here's the catch. These aren't actually for Lord Masque. Lord Masque didn't actually use any weapons in the cartoon series, so he didn't actually come with them. Now, you can use these with Masque if you want to, but these 2 weapons are actually for your New Adventures of He-Man action figure. So I'm going to bring him in here. And I want to show you. You can kind of compare them to the standard sword and shield. You can see that the greens are very different. The original ones were kind of more of a yellow and a gold. These are more green and silver. And you can put those with He-Man there. You can put him in his hands. You can clip the clip on his wrist there, just like so. You can see the way it's positioned on the back. They're very nice looking, great silver colors and everything. So if you're not familiar, the reason for this is to allow you to kind of recreate one of the variants from the New Adventures of He-Man line. Look, I'm bringing in my carded version because I actually don't have a complete loose version of this one. But Thunder Punch He-Man from New Adventures looked like this. And if you can see, kind of comparing into the blister bubble there, that's his sword and his shield. The only thing we don't have is the harness to kind of match with it. It'd be kind of cool if we had that as well. But you can pair those up with your New Adventures He-Man if you want to, and kind of recreate Thunder Punch He-Man. So I think that's pretty neat. I always love getting additional accessories like that. I think that's a lot of fun. So there you go, my friends. There is a look at the brand new Lord Masque, part of the Masters of the Universe Classics Collector's Choice line. I really like this figure overall. I think he turned out great. I'm glad we finally have an action figure of him, and we can pair him up with our Shakoti and finally complete that duo from one of the most popular 2-episode arcs from the original Filmation cartoon series. I love it. Really great figure. Lord Masque was offered in January 2016 and was part of the brand new Collector's Choice subscription. So, happy hunting, my friends. And hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss out on one of my videos. Until next time.